Hello and welcome to Analytics Nexus 2019, the premier virtual event for analytics best practices. This presentation is titled Building a Holistic View of Your Digital Experience and will be presented by Allison Vail. This is just one webinar in a whole series of presentations you have access to beginning today. A few quick housekeeping items before I introduce this particular presentation. At any time, you can interact with this presenter or the other presenters with questions or comments on Slack. The Slack address for Analytics Nexus is analyticsnexus.slack.com, and you should have received an email invitation to join if you registered in advance. If you didn't receive that email, you can find an invitation link to the Slack in the menu below, as well as in the resource list. Once you log in to the Analytics Nexus Slack, you can find the channel for Allison Vail to engage. Also, you can engage with us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @analytics_nexus. Finally, for questions on Analytics Nexus or Claravine, who is producing this event, feel free to email us at info@claravine.com. This session will be presented by Allison Vail. Allison currently manages analytics at Verizon, where she is responsible for measuring and optimizing the new customer acquisition flow in the business, including media performance, cart conversion, and retargeting efforts. She uses behavioral, attitudinal, cross-channel, and testing, among other tools, in her analyses. She formerly managed analytics at Samsung Electronics, where she led insights across all areas of .com and helped to establish a global analytics center of excellence. Allison, I'll turn it over to you from here.
Thank you for the introduction. As was said before, I'm currently manager of analytics at Verizon Telecommunications. I'm formerly analytics manager and market research analyst at Samsung Electronics. I graduated Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania with a degree in mathematics and economics. I currently live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I enjoy spending time with family and friends, cooking, playing tennis, skiing, doing yoga, and watching HGTV. As a side note, my company's legal team has asked me to mention that I'm not representing Verizon, and that thoughts and ideas put forth in this presentation are mine. You've heard all the big terms: big data, cloud solutions, Internet of Things, predictive analytics, data management portal, natural language processing. It can be a bit difficult to figure out how to integrate these services into your analytics landscape, let alone connecting the dots among the tools to make meaningful analysis and come up with actionable recommendations. This presentation is designed to give you thought starters about what type of data you should be including in your analytics arsenal and how you can produce a big picture story using data from multiple sources to create a holistic view of insight into your business. Goals of this presentation are to provide you with ideas of new data sources and ways to join new information with existing tools, example frameworks that you can leverage, a list of pitfalls to avoid, and things you can do now to make integration of new data sources easier. What does it mean to have a holistic view? It means having access to various data points and being able to use the interconnection of all of these data points together to improve the overall experience of the business. So instead of looking at data sets separately from each other and coming up with a siloed recommendation or outcome, the analysts can use data sets in conjunction with each other to come up with a more desirable result. There are many types of data that can be used in conjunction with each other to create a holistic view. Behavioral, attitudinal, cross-channel, media advertising, device-to-device, customer support, data management portal, and competitive insights are all examples of data sets that can be combined together to generate a comprehensive view into all digital touchpoints and feedback areas within your business. I've listed out some examples of brands and types of data I've worked with in the past. I encourage you to check them out after this presentation if you are not yet familiar. What is the benefit of having all of these data points? I've listed out the top reasons why I believe this type of investment is good. Because you have a wider lens, it minimizes the risk of improving one area of the business while negatively impacting another area of equal importance at the same time. More data can help tell a better story, which makes you seem smarter in front of the CEO. It can distinguish movement in an ambivalent metric, such as time spent on site, as being good versus bad, and vice versa. Can help you prioritize quick wins versus costly or longer-term projects. It provides additional touch points for you to get in touch with your customers and improves cross-functional working relationships among teams. What does it require to obtain these types of data sources? I've listed out 3 areas you can work on now, even prior to integration of new tools or software. Communication. I encourage you to start building relationships within your company. Network with other teams to see what they already have available and are willing to share. You may even have information that's useful to them as well, which can be used as a bartering method. Planning. Start researching and reaching out to companies of interest. They might be cheaper or more expensive than you thought. See what features come with each of the tools and what is missing. Create pro-con lists to help you remember what you like and dislike about each tool or service. Budget. Work now to secure budget, even for next year. Prioritize the need of the tool and the information you can glean from it against cost. If you work at a larger company with a sizable IT staff, see if there is a way to capture the information or build out the tools you need in-house, which is often cheaper than paying money to outside companies. Now that I have access to this data, where do I begin? Start by becoming proficient with each tool or data source separately. Become familiar with the most useful reports or variables within each source. Ensure you understand exact definitions of each dimension or metric. 2, ask yourself the following questions for each data set. What key themes or pieces of information emerge? Where does this data fit into the analysis framework? 3, find and create linkages among data sources, such as home address, email, phone number, IP, or login. If one doesn't currently exist, check with IT or contacts within software teams to see if a customized linkage is possible. For example, in one of my companies, we were able to hard code an online session ID in the back end of a consumer survey pop-up, so we were more easily able to link this data from the survey to our behavioral data set that also stored the same ID. When linking data sources, it is always a good idea to coordinate with your company's legal and privacy professionals for input. 4, once data is linked and has been analyzed, you can begin crafting your story. Looking at multiple data sets at once can be time-consuming and confusing, so on the next slide, I have an example of a framework you can use to simplify how you can work with this data. I'm going to walk you through an example framework of how you can tie multiple data sources together to come up with actionable recommendations for your business and help your team meet KPIs. You can first begin by using a behavioral tool, such as Adobe or Google Analytics, to identify potential areas of opportunity or key wins on your site. You can begin by first investigating problem areas that many customers see. Are there certain pages that have higher than expected exit rates? Are conversion rates high or low in your e-commerce cart? Does time spent on a particular page or area of the site seem to be too long? Setting targets and using benchmarks can help you determine if something is quote-unquote good or bad. Targets for KPIs should be set even prior to launching new content or functionality so that you are able to justify the money and resources spent to improve. All key stakeholders should be on the same page of what should be considered successful or unsuccessful. Analytics managers are oftentimes the gatekeepers in helping to determine what the threshold for success should be. If this is new functionality for your site and you don't have prior benchmarks you can use, you can consult secondary resources, industry experts, or use customer feedback panels to help you arrive at appropriate target values for your KPIs. After a review of the behavioral data has been completed and you've determined what are the big wins or losses on your site, you can use customer feedback survey tools to help identify why something is performing well or poorly. Most voice of customer tools allow you to create customized feedback cards or surveys. You can set rules on how these feedback mechanisms appear so you don't interrupt critical flows on the site, such as ordering or engagement with a chat agent. For example, if you see high exit rate in your e-commerce cart, you can create a survey that appears once they have exited the cart and closed their browser, which asks the reason for leaving. Was it a technical issue? Did they need more time? Was something not understandable on the checkout page? The information you receive for the survey can help you determine how or if you want to re-engage with these customers, and also help you to prioritize the optimizations needed by how many customers it impacts or how costly the fix is expected to be. Once you have an understanding of if things are good or bad and why, you can start to brainstorm ways to fix the issue. I found that using UX usability testing panels are a great way to soundboard ideas without needing to create too much investment in mock-ups or copywriting. The panel feedback may even provide a better suggestion for ways to move forward than you had even previously thought of. By using inputs from usability testing and voice of customer, you can now create new versions of your web experience to test, either against each other or the version currently live on your site. Various versions of imagery, copy, colors, font, and CTA placements are all aspects that can be incorporated into an A/B or multivariate test. You can define success metrics such as task completion, satisfaction, click-through or order rates, and see which version has the best value for those particular KPIs. You'll want to make sure your results are statistically significant at a high enough confidence level so the same results are likely to occur once you push the winning version live. Do you have any specific examples you can provide of how data can be joined together to improve my business? I'm going to walk you through an example of how you can link online data to call center or chat channels to improve cross-channel insights. Joining these data sets together can help answer the percent of sales online has either started or closed within these channels so that you're better able to attribute and take credit for online sales. 2, find ways to reduce call center calls to save your business money. 3, gather intel around why your customers might be leaving your site to engage with these channels so that you can enhance your online experience. In this example, I'm using call center and chat, but you can swap these channels out with other customer touch points such as kiosks or brick and mortar stores or whatever applies best to you. How do you join the data? You first want to start by implementing tracking code on digital interactions. You want to make sure that you tag whatever you can so that you have direct access to the data, especially if chat or call center is operated by your company's outside agencies. You may have some difficulty getting regular access to that data. You should try to tag key live chat interactions such as chat pops, two-way conversation, and error messages. Additionally, on mobile websites, tagging call center phone number allows you to track click-through of this touch point. If you integrate these tags into your behavioral portal, such as Site Catalyst, It also makes it easier because you can view everything in one place instead of needing to pull from separate systems and join on the back end. In terms of call center, you can work with your company's call center partners to create customized dial-in numbers to be published on your company's website. This can help you classify the types of customers that are calling. For example, if a visitor is referred by a specific marketing tactic, they can be shown a number that ends in 1234, and you know those visitors arrived from that particular source. Or if a visitor is calling from an ordering page, you can display a number that ends in 5678. These types of unique identifiers help measure call reasons and provide more information about the customer. You can find linkages between call center and chat data and online, such as a user's email address, home address, phone number, account number, IP, chat number, etc. Most companies won't store this personal data in its raw form to protect the consumer, so you may have to access this information using hashed or encrypted values. Once linkages have been identified, you can use Excel or another data join tool using lookups to combine the data sets and find individuals of interest. I found that it helps to first pull online data and match to data you're interested in for the other channels. When combining online data to call center or chat, I'm providing a list of metrics that you should consider looking at. What percentage of online shoppers engaged with chat or call center? Did they place an order or another success event within these channels? Were their average online handle times longer or shorter than average? How long after the online visit did they engage with these channels? What was their reason for abandoning the site to engage with these channels? For the fifth bullet I have on this list, you might need to work directly with your call center or chat partners to work this question into a post-consumer satisfaction survey. On this slide, I'll present to you a few options of how you can disseminate the data. Word clouds are a great way to visualize key topics discussed via chat or call center. There are many free online tools that can visualize this data for you. There's also voice-to-text software that allows you to download call center calls and can help you more quickly summarize key points brought up on the call. Analytics Workspace within Adobe is a great way to create visualizations or custom data views for data stored with Insight Catalyst. You can create processing rules within Adobe Analytics to bring in chat or call center data to link to your behavioral data. If you have chat interactions tagged, this data can also live in the portal and will allow you to correlate this information to what pages visitors are most likely to chat on, where they exited if they chatted, and so on. Keep in mind that processing rules can cost upwards of $10,000 and can take 1 to 2 months to implement. Tableau is another visualization tool for data stored outside of Adobe. It easily links to many types of data sources so you can bring everything together in one view. I've put together a few pro tips for you to make use of this data a little easier. Be sensitive to personally identifiable information. Restrict access to certain data sets where necessary. Many tools come with admin rights. Check with legal before implementation of a tool to see what information is acceptable to collect and store and what is not. Be cautious of conflicting data points from different sources or slight nuances in metric definitions. A metric may appear to be similar, but upon digging, you might realize 2 different tools do something similarly, but measure slightly differently. There may be differences in wording of a question if it's attitudinal data, or audience or time frame if it's behavioral data. If it truly is a conflicting data point, investigate with help of a software or agency partner to determine why this difference might exist. You want to avoid sending data that may look incorrect or hurt your team's credibility. Dole out responsibilities on your team. Encourage everyone to become familiar with the tool, but delineate experts within the team that you can rely on to lead specific types of analyses or initiatives. answer questions about how a tool works, or pull data quickly. Create a regular cadence of performing certain types of analyses. For example, commit to 2 to 3 usability studies per quarter, or 3 to 5 competitive analyses per year. Block off time when you know an impending deliverable is due. This can help with time management and ad hoc request prioritization. Go to conferences to learn about new technologies. Reach out to conference organizers ahead of time to get the schedule and costs for next year so you can budget. If travel is not covered, reach out to account reps to see if any formal or informal gatherings are happening near you, or join Analytics Nexus online and learn a lot of really good stuff from a lot of really great people. Lastly, avoid analysis paralysis. You have access to a lot of data. Make sure you're balancing evaluating relevant data with making timely, actionable decisions. Looking ahead, how do I take my analysis to the next level? When putting together this deck and planning my goals for 2019, I began researching more advanced techniques to help take analyses and recommendations to the next level. Predictive analytics uses statistical methods to arrive at the likelihood of an outcome based on current and historical inputs. It can help your company set business targets based on time of year, week, or even as granular as hour of day. For example, the pattern could show that shoppers are more likely to browse in the morning and come back in the evening to purchase. If Monday is the highest sales conversion day, you could aim to launch marketing Sunday night, Monday morning to take care of this. Our regression modeling tool can help set predictions of how you think traffic and sales will look even a year out based on historical trends. This insight allows you to manage executive expectations around sales and traffic, and also allows you to be strategic in shifting marketing dollars from times of a year when you're predicting excess to times when you believe you will fall short of target. You can also use modeling tools to help gauge how certain content, user journeys, or success events impact sales or another metric of interest on your site. This information allows you to prioritize pages, sections of the site, or content types to be optimized to drive higher sales or satisfaction. Data Workbench, which is a tool within the Adobe Cloud, has specific modeling features and allows you to link in data sets across multiple platforms. Machine learning takes this a step further, which is the practice of using artificial intelligence to run models, identify patterns, successes and failures, and make changes or decisions with limited human intervention. This process can be used more effectively to serve customized ad copy or content based on a user profile, detect fraud on your website, and limit human investment in customer service channels such as call centers or chat, and can provide recommendations to users via your website about which products they should buy. Limited machine learning tools exist right now, but we should start to see this market pick up in 2019. I hope that you found this presentation to be helpful. It was enjoyable to put together and to share practices that have worked for me well in the past. I look forward to connecting. Please reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you, Allison, for sharing this material. This has been a really enlightening presentation. Just a reminder to our guests, you can engage with Allison with questions or comments at her channel on the Analytics Nexus Slack. And the links are provided in the resources and in the menu below. Thanks again.